Hi, welcome to 2020 Tasty Treats with GourmetQuilter. We're doing 20 different projects this year, and this time we're doing some applique, we're doing some tree applique. So we've just started our little forest, we've done one block, so today we're on to block 2. There's a picture here of the blocks that we're going to be doing. I've gone ahead, I've cut out my backgrounds, I've cut out all my applique shapes ready for block 2. So if you've registered with GourmetQuilter to receive the pattern, then you'll have a page that looks like this with your shape on it, ready for you to trace and cut out with your fabric on it on the fusible web. It's mirror image so that it's going to come out the same way that we look at the finished block, not this one that comes out the other way. There is a diagram here of how the block will look. So I've gone ahead and cut out my background square here, and I've cut out all these. So I'm just going to iron these on, and then I can start doing a little bit of the sewing. So it's kind of fun to do all this. So this has just got the fusible web, and I'm just peeling that off the back. So it's a little bit like a spider when there's all these little bits. So just be careful of those. And then when you position it onto your background, they'll need to just kind of find their little happy place. So you're going to be losing 1/4 of an inch around the outside edge of your block. But other than that, everything looks like it's going to sit on there quite happily. And I'm using steamer seam, which is a little bit adhesive, so it'll just sit there quite nicely. And then I've got all these leaves to go on. So I've used 2 colours for the leaves, just to give a little bit of variety. And really there's just kind of a leaf anywhere you choose to put it. So it's kind of fun to do this part of the applique. There's no real rhyme or reason in it. There generally seem to be leaves on the ends of these little branches. But they can be light or dark, or they could be pink, or whatever colour you choose to make them. Because it's your tree. Just because most trees have green leaves, it does not mean that yours has to. So these little appliques are kind of fun to use. You might like them on a pocket or on a bag perhaps, or you might like them on a cushion. There's any number of places to use little appliques. And sometimes you just need just that particular one that's going to work for you. So there's a few leaves here. It's just taking a little bit of time to get this ready. Got an extra leaf on that branch there. And we've got an extra leaf coming up there, I think. So I'm just sitting these actually just right next to the tree trunk and the branches rather than underneath in this case. Just make sure you're leaving yourself your 1/4 of an inch seam allowance all the way around. I'm close, but I'm within there, so that's kind of good. And these little leaves, there's still a couple more to fit in here. It's a busy little tree. It's been growing really well, producing lots of leaves, which is always a good thing. And one more to go. Where's this one going to fit? Maybe up here. Whoops, found another one. There's leaves everywhere. And this one can come in here. Move this one a touch. There we go. So there I've positioned all my leaves. I haven't ironed them in place yet. I'm quite happy with that. I've made sure that I'm just within all the way around there for my seam allowance in case I use it in another project. So I'm just ironing those in place now. So I'm just using a stabilizer behind that helps because I'm going to free motion stitch. The stabilizer helps things not move. I'm using a lightweight cotton batting as my stabilizer, which I'll be stitching my applique through that as well. So because it's all white and I'm using a white background, just make sure there's no little bits of coloured thread sitting in between. And I like to iron it. It's not fusible, but if I iron it to that stabilizer, it just kind of grips because it's all cotton, and it just sits really nicely for when I'm going to be doing some stitching. So now I'm going to go to the machine and do some free motion stitching. So I think I can do all of this in one go. I don't have to stop and start. So I can start at the base of the trunk here, and I can just go around the leaves as I get to them and continue on. So I'll start doing that, so that you can see how all that works, and I should end up ultimately back where I started. You don't want to stop and start any more than you have to with free motion work. It's kind of nice to just keep going. And just take your time. Your stitches might end up being a little bit smaller than you expect when you take your time, because you're thinking hard about it. Just come along the branches and then come out the next one. And I'm just going to go onto that leaf while I'm there. So I think you've probably got the hang of it. I'm just going to continue on going around my tree. Just make sure that you're not leaving any areas, raw edges of the fabric unstitched, because they all need to be stitched. So I'll just continue on and I will show you when I've just about got to the other end. So I've been busy stitching my leaves and branches, and I'm just on the last branch. Guess what? We're going to come back to exactly where I started. And I haven't had to stop and start other than the beginning and the end that's just about to happen. And so there's a tree looking quite delicious. I always like to give things a little press when I've finished them. But I think this is kind of a fun little tree with lots of leaves, and it's going to go up a forest. It's going to be a forest soon. There's 2 trees in it already now. So we'll pop this one up here and watch this forest grow. So we've done the first 2 on the diagram there. So that was block 2 in the tree applique of the tasty treats, and I'll see you again with block 3. Thank you.